Once upon a time, in a land called Scotland, there was a great warrior called Macbeth. He fought bravely in many wars. After one battle, Macbeth and his best friend Banquo met the witches. Macbeth was very surprised because Scotland already had a king whose name was Duncan. The witches had news for Banquo too.
Banquo, hail to thee! Father of kings, you shall be.
Then the witches disappeared. Macbeth and Banquo joked about the weird witches because what they had said could never come true. But Macbeth couldn't help thinking that he really would like to be king. He wrote a letter and sent it to his wife. When Lady Macbeth got the letter, she became very excited.
You shall be king, and I shall be queen!
That night, King Duncan came to stay at Macbeth's castle. Macbeth decided that he did not want to be king after all, but Lady Macbeth had other ideas.
You will! I won't! You will! I won't! You will! I won't! You will! Okay.
That night, with Lady Macbeth's help, Macbeth sneaked into Duncan's room. And that was the end of Duncan. The next morning, the king's sons, Malcolm and Donalbain, were worried.
Could we be next? Let's escape!
So they escaped to another country. Because they ran away, Macbeth blamed the sons for what happened to Duncan. And with no one else left, Macbeth became king. Macbeth had another problem. The witches said that Banquo would be the father of kings, so Macbeth decided to get rid of him as well. He sent 2 murderers after Banquo.
Go and get him!
Banquo was never seen again. That night, Macbeth had a big party to celebrate becoming king. There was even a place at the table for Banquo, because Macbeth was pretending he didn't know what happened to his friend. But Macbeth was in for a surprise. Banquo did come to the party, as a ghost. But only Macbeth could see him. Macbeth said?
You can't say I did it. He's talking to!
Lady Macbeth rushed over to Macbeth to try and calm him down.
You're talking to an empty chair!
Then the ghost disappeared. Macbeth tried to start the party again. But it was too late. The others went home. The next day, Macbeth decided he had to talk to the witches to see if they could tell him what would happen to him in the future. He found them in a cave, stirring a big pot.
What will happen in the future?
Macbeth laughed. The trees couldn't walk, so he would never be beaten. Meanwhile, the king's son Malcolm was making a plan. He met with another great warrior, Macduff, to think of a way to beat Macbeth.
I got an idea! Yes!
Back at the castle, things were already starting to go badly. Lady Macbeth was beginning to feel very sad about the people they had hurt to become king and queen. She imagined that her hands had spots of blood on them, and that they could never be clean.
Out them spot, out them spot.
She cried every day, and soon she could no longer even speak. Macbeth was still not worried. He knew he could not be beaten until the trees came walking to his castle. But when he looked over the castle wall, he saw a shocking sight. The trees were walking to his castle!
That's impossible!
But it was true. You see, Malcolm's plan was for everyone in his army to hold a tree branch in front of him, so that Macbeth could not see how many soldiers there were. To Macbeth, though, this looked like the trees were walking. Macduff entered Macbeth's castle.
Surrender!
Malcolm became the new king, and everyone lived happily ever after.